Well, this game aged well. Man, Pokemon Gunners dropped and set the gaming world on fire. People don't know what to do with themselves. On one side, you got people hating on the game, trying to find any reason they can to get the game canceled. And then you have people who love the game, find it fun, and can't stop playing it. Say what you want, but numbers don't lie. The game sold over 5 million copies in the first 3 days alone. From the day the game dropped, it's been embroiled in controversy with allegations of plagiarizing Pokemon, being a lazy asset flip, created by AI, unoriginal, etc. But even with all that hate, there's still so much hype. So what's the deal with that? Is this game worth playing? Is it a flaming dumpster fire? This is the case of Palworld. Detective B on the case. The art style for this game was created in the Unreal Engine 5 software. There are several locations in this game that are really pretty to look at, and others, pretty low quality textures. But keep in mind this game is still in early access, so that's up to you whether you want to give that a pass or not. The graphic style in this game is a little bit of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and a little bit of Pokemon Legends Arceus, if Pokemon Legends Arceus was more polished and easy on the eyes. This game is an extremely popular addition to the monster tamer genre, and the magical monsters in this game are called pals. Now the pal designs in this game are cartoonishly realistic, and many of them draw heavy inspiration from the Pokemon series, some being obvious inspirations from their color designs, and others from their model design. Because of this, there is plenty of discourse related to Palworld, accusing Pocket Pair of plagiarizing Pokemon and having pals generated from AI. Personally, I believe some of the pals take heavy inspiration from Pokemon, and it's obvious, but I believe some of the pals are still unique enough to avoid copyright infringement, which is why Nintendo hasn't sued them to oblivion yet, even though this game has been around since 2021. There's also no evidence that Pocket Pair used AI to create the pals. Overall, I like many of the pal designs, despite many flying a little too close to the sun. I really enjoy looking at the art style in this playthrough. I just hope Pocket Pair spends a little more time polishing the graphics. Palworld is highly addicting and extremely fun to play. This is probably the reason it shot to the top of the Steam concurrent player charts and is loved by so many. Palworld is a cross between Pokemon Legends Arceus, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Ark Survival, with some hints to Elden Ring as well, with the boss fights and some in-game locations such as the Desolate Church. Literally a one-to-one recreation. The gameplay loop is simple, fun, and rewardingly repetitive. But that is definitely subjective. You essentially beat up pals, syndicate thugs, and bosses in the overworld, and catch pals for experience and items. In this game, you craft your own base for items you collected, and add to it over time, making improvements. The higher your level, the better craftable items become available, and the more your game opens up to you. This game is far more than Pokemon with guns. You don't even start collecting gun parts or making guns until you're past like level 25. And until then, you use arrows, crossbows, bats. Eventually, while minding your own business, you might be raided by pals, thugs, and other characters on a mission to liberate your pals at your base. This game will humble you if you don't pay attention to what you're doing, or if you try to pick fights you aren't ready for. Clearly 8 million plus copies sold, and the highest concurrent player count on Steam isn't just for nothing. Alright. So I gotta give a bit of a disclaimer because this game is still currently in early access. This game is not even at its full power yet. With that being said, it's expected that players will encounter bugs, glitches, and crashes, but they are a lot, even for an early access game. And for anybody who's wondering, I'm playing on PC using a Lenovo Idea Center 5 gaming desktop, which is a 12th gen Intel Core 7 processor with RTX 3060, 32 gigs of RAM, 2 TB of storage, 4 TB of HDD, and is currently running on Windows 11. Now for those of you who are not nerds and want me to speak in English, I'm playing on a good computer, but it's not top of the line. The game still runs remarkably well for a game in early access, but there have been several problematic issues causing game saves disappear, a black screen of death preventing gameplay at all, several instances of crashes in game, and more. If you play in single player mode, game's more stable, but when you're online, this is really where the issues become apparent. Clearly, Pocket Pair didn't see this game becoming as popular as it is. In this game's opening weekend, an emergency meeting was called by Pocket Pair to address fixes and stabilization, and a bunch of fixes were made so far. Pocket Pair has vowed additional fixes over time and additional updates over time. In my 45-hour playthrough, I've only encountered brain-dead enemy AI, some crashes, T-poses, falling through the ground, and my pals at my base seem to get stuck on trees and in my house sometimes for some reason. Don't know why that's happening, but Pocket Pair, fix that, please. My playthrough was done in single player mode, but this game is still in an annoyingly buggy state, but still manageable. Bruh. The little story this game has can be found in in-game collectible items in the form of castaway diaries. These diaries provide in-game lore and explains various topics about the Palpagos Islands. In this game, the main story centers around stopping the Syndicate from poaching pals and menacing the Palpagos Islands. You are meant to defeat the Syndicate Tower leaders, which are basically Pokemon gym leaders, with Elden Ring, Legends Arceus style boss fights. Personally, I love to discover in-game lore and figure out what's going on in the game world I'm interested in, so I don't mind this format, but there really isn't a compelling story in this game. But that's okay. The focus of this game is on survival crafting and catching them all the pals that is. There isn't really much to the characters in this game. This game is a survival crafter, shooter, creature collector, and the characters in the overworld aren't really the focus of the game. As such, this category isn't really that relevant this time. There are human characters, and then there's pals, but the focus is truly on. They actually have facial expressions so you can see how they're feeling. They can lose their minds from you overworking them. They're certainly a fleshed out experience, but with human characters, not so much. The human characters in this game range from the Syndicate thugs, the Free Pal Alliance, which is basically PETA, NPCs in the settlement villages, overworld characters, and the Palpagos Islands Defense Force. The closest this game gets to decent character development are with the tower bosses in their opening cinematics. But wait a minute now, we gotta talk about these cops real quick. Just imagine GTA police with Cyberpunk 2077 magical locations spawning cops, but far, far worse. Better not attack people other than the Syndicate thugs or bosses, or worse, try to catch them, or the police will show up and ruin your day. You literally only have two options, die or die. That's it. There's almost no chance to outrun them once they're on you. They will literally pursue you to no end until you're dead. Seriously, make Grand Theft Auto cops look like rookies. But you know, of course I had to try my luck. Guess how that went. Go get this game, it's well worth the money. Certainly if you have Game Pass on Xbox, because it's free. This is Detective B clocking out. Case closed.